So that kind of gives you an idea. Oh my gosh, let's get set there. Let's try that take again. Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the farm. My name's Cody and I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy your visit. And yeah, if it's not your first time here, welcome back. It's always so nice to see ya. So I'm sure you can see now that the snow has completely covered the ground out here, and I think winter is here to stay. But that's, I guess, part of the season. That's where we're at right now. That's okay. So I didn't get everything done that I wanted to. We got our peonies in the ground, which is great. But there's still quite a few plants that I didn't get a chance to get into the ground. So today what I want to do is take you guys through how I would overwinter some of our plants if we didn't get a chance to get them into the ground. Now ideally you don't have any plants left out in their pots over winter because that's not really that great for them. Typically you need a hardiness zone of at least 2 zones more hardy than what your zone is for plants to survive in the winter. And even then, honestly, it's kind of stressful for the plants. So the ideal is to get them into the ground. But if that doesn't work for you, I'm going to show you how I do that. So ideally, all of these plants would have been in the ground, you know, but sometimes time gets away on us and that's okay. So what my plan is to do is to get them overwintered above ground in their pots. Not recommended, but if you have to do it, I just wanted to show you how I do it. So the nighttime lows have been getting down to -20, so that means all of these guys now are completely dormant. And that's a good thing. These plants are very hardy to zone 3, some of them are zone 2. So they're very hardy plants, but the problem you run into with overwintering any perennial or tree or shrub in a pot above ground is that when you get sun like this on a black pot or any pot, you end up with the risk of causing some thawing in the pot. So let's pop this guy out here. And I don't know if that'll show up or not, but I can already feel, and I can just poke it a little bit. So this shouldn't happen where it's crumbling. This should be frozen solid. And if it were in ground, it would be completely frozen solid. It causes a lot of stress on the plants when they go through that repeated freeze-thaw cycle. So that's one of the main killers when you have above ground plants over the winter, is that freeze-thaw cycle. So my plan is to get these guys all tucked up into a nice sheltered area, make them nice and safe, and give them as close to an in-ground environment as I can. So that's the name of the game today. So when I'm looking for a spot to overwinter the plants, I want them to be in an area where I know they're going to get a lot of snow cover. That's really going to help insulate the pots and the root balls, which is going to be good. I also want an area where I can keep an eye on them too, so there's not too far out of the way and easy to kind of keep tabs on for sure. Ideally, you have it in an area that's quite shaded. I don't really have anything available like that for me right now, but the shade would help with, again, the temperature swings in your area, so that's another thing to keep in mind. There we go. So all of the perennials are now down on the ground. I have a row of straw bales around the outside just to help block any of that south sun that might hit those pots. I'm not going to cover these guys with straw or anything. It's supposed to snow in the next couple of days, and I think that'll be enough insulation to keep these guys happy over the winter. What I can also do is, as I clear the parking lot, I can just lightly pile the snow on top of these guys so they're going to stay covered and well hydrated over the winter. So that's a big job done for today. So I picked up a few trees with the idea that I was going to get some fall planting done, and however that didn't work out between the toddler bubonic plague and a bunch of other things that kind of came up. I didn't get time to get these plants in, but that's not a problem. We can overwinter these guys. Ideally, I'd have a hole dug and I could just put them in the ground. That's basically planting them, but that's not what I have done today. But I can still overwinter them successfully, and I'm going to show you how I overwinter trees here. Sorry, my mouth is a little bit cold. It's a little bit chilly out and I'm having a hard time pronunciating, but maybe I'll just jump into it and give you, show you guys how to get it done. There we go. So I am on the, I guess this is the east side of the building. So there's not very much sun. We have the cabin here as well, and mature pine trees, or I guess they're spruce, it doesn't matter, behind us to the south. So very, almost entirely full shade. Now I find that to be really helpful, especially when trying to overwinter anything. Anytime you can get the sun off of the plants, it's just going to help them out in the long run. So what I'm going to do is we'll get these trees here tucked up close to the cabin. Sorry, there we go. And then I'm going to keep snow covered on them all winter long. And that snow is going to help insulate them. And it also helps to water them if it starts to warm up. Say we get a Chinook or a really nice day. As that snow melts, it also adds moisture into the root ball, so the root ball doesn't dry out, which is ideally the best way to kill them. So we don't want that. But let me show you. So they still feel really good, really spry. They're definitely dormant now, obviously, but there's still a lot of give to them, so they haven't had any damage yet. Alright, there we go. So that was pretty quick and easy. They're on the non-sunny side, so the east side of the building. Got them piled up with some snow on there. I'll keep an eye on them in case they do, the snow dries out or melts, just to kind of keep that piled up there. As more snow falls, I'm going to try to mound up as much as I can so that all the pots are covered. That's a good thing to do. And the last thing that I did was I put it underneath the drip line. I don't have eave troughs on this cabin, so all the water just comes straight down. And I've lined up all those pots so that as that roof snow melts, it goes right into the pot. So that's another little trick that you can do to help make sure that they stay hydrated over the winter. Well, alright, there we go, guys. That was probably a quick one today, but it's just another little job off the to-do list that I can get done this time of year. And yeah, I'm happy to have it done. So all those plants now are safely tucked away. They'll be able to overwinter quite well there. The important thing is just to keep an eye on them, right? Make sure that they've got either snow cover. If you do have like peat moss or straw, you can always cover that on your plants too, just to add that extra layer of insulation. But I'm gonna try out with snow this year and see how it goes. You never know if you don't try, right? But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for today there, everyone. So I want to thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I hope you had a great time, and until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Bye now.